Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome back. I'm going to be discussing the new Amouage Essences collection. This has been highly spoken about, raved about all over the place. And I have the sampler set that I got at Scent Explorer. So I'm going to talk to you about the fragrances. So let's open up the sampler set. I have been introduced to this collection. I had an intimate lunch with Renaud Salmon myself in Harrods in London. And I mean, this guy is just, are you allowed to say crazy anymore? This guy's crazy. Like, he is so inspiring. He embodies his work in a way that you only see in artistic fields or people who really take what they do seriously. He spends all of his time bouncing around the world, and like, I'm just amazed by the way that he can sit and talk about Amouage every day, 24/7, and be equally passionate about it every single time he talks about Amouage. So this new collection is a whole revamp. The bottles look like this, very stunning. They look like ceramic or stone, something carved out in stone, very museum-like, very historical, like something maybe you would have found, a historical artifact that has been found by an archaeologist. And I find the bottles just amazingly beautiful. They go through the Amouage quality tests, but let's talk about the smells themselves. So these fragrances have been aged for 6 months. Amouage has their own aging process, and what you get here is 30% perfume oil. So let's start out. I'm not sure if this is the right way of introducing them in terms of which one you have to start with first, but I'm going to start out with Outlands. So these are meant to be a very intricate layering experience, as in layered within the scent. Everything is aged in oak barrels and with sandalwood chips. So they have this added layer of this oaky, sandalwoody type of thing that runs through all three of these fragrances. Outlands was created by Cécile Zaroquian, who has done quite a few fragrances for Amouage. She worked on Epic, which is one of my favorite Amouages, Epic Woman, the green one. And she does a very good characteristic vanilla spice concoction. And Outlands is another one of those works from her that just hits through. It has something citrusy in there. It smells orangey to me at this point, but it's supposed to be this zesty lemon that's mixed with this amber accord. Now, somebody was wearing Outlands the other day, and what I could smell was this waft of amber, a deep, beautiful, inviting, enveloping amber that was neither too heavy nor too light. And even though it's heavy and long lasting, like, these fragrances are meant to last long. The internet is obsessed with longevity, so Amouage has met those needs. And Outlands does just that. This is going to be the one for the vanillic ambery fragrance lovers. The people who love Cecile's work will absolutely love this. If you love Material by Amouage, another one that Cecile also created. And the base of this has that characteristic Amouage frankincense, benzoin, resinous base. This is a resinous spicy concoction. I find this one to be, for me, the most mysterious. I think Outlands is the most hyped out of the three fragrances. For some reason, everything that Cecile does gets super hyped by people. But for me, the hype is for a reason, because this one actually, I smelled it on somebody else and I was like, this is really great. So Outlands, that was the first one. Now the next one that we have is called Reasons, and this one has more of a sepia kind of color on it. I did ask Renaud how he came up with the colors. I guess they all have different inspirations. Let's say Outlands was supposed to be something about voyages or traveling different corners of the world. That's why it had this deeper blue sea-like color. And then Reasons, I guess, is a bit more down to earth, demure. To me, I find this to be another iteration of Guidance. So this is like Guidance Essence version for me. Guidance does have the 46 version, which is the oil, which is more sweet and sensual than the original Guidance. But Reasons for me is a down to earth. So let's say, okay, so it's not, what it has in common with Guidance is the hazelnut accord. So Guidance has a strong hazelnut opening that's sweet and nutty and it makes your mouth salivate a little bit because it is gourmand. And then Reasons takes it to an earthy place. So you've taken your guidance, but you've been out in the mountains with it, and it's been a few days, and you've been around the rocks, or you've been in a cave, and let's say you took guidance out on a hike. That's kind of what Reasons is. And this one really blooms a lot more on skin. Somebody else was wearing Reasons the other day, and on her, it smelled a lot sweeter than it does on paper. But again, that has to do with skin chemistry, right? So on paper, I get a lot of this cypriol that's in here as it begins to develop. What Reasons likes to bring to the forefront is also the Palo Santo. So most of you are probably familiar with how Palo Santo smells. So that kind of calming, woody, creamy, woody smokiness. And then this also does have that amber at the heart. It has that ambery facet running through it. So all of these are resinous at the heart. Then we have Lustre. Not spelled Lustre, L-U-S-T-R, but L-U-S-T-R-E. The perfumer behind Reasons was Bertrand Duchaufour, by the way, who I absolutely, you know how I feel about him and what he's done, what he means for us niche heads. Okay, so Lustre for me has a very strong association to a bubbly, fizzy Coke pop. So an artisanal Coca-Cola that's been opened, or a root beer float, or a Coca-Cola float without vanilla ice cream. It has that sweet resinous bubbliness and then with some vanilla. I have a few fragrances in my collection that fill this itch for me, but if you are out and about and or you don't have one of these in your collection and you're looking for something that suits that sweet tooth but still deep, this is really, really good. Honestly, if I didn't have the others, this would be the one from the collection that I would want to get. So officially, notes-wise, this has cardamom at the top. You feel that strong cardamom, yes. And then you definitely feel that warm sandalwood, the woody resinous goodness with the labdanum and some styraxy facets as well. Like, it really is a nice bubbly one. It's not as straightforward as other scents that give me that kind of cola root beer float association. It is a lot more complex. One of my favorite notes in perfumery is myrrh, and this has myrrh at the base. And what I love about myrrh is that it has that resinousness, but also it feels a little bit edible almost. It feels like a candied resin. And this one highlights that, well, it doesn't highlight it, it's a supporting role in this cinematic experience. Lustre was created by Paul Guerlain and Julien Rasquinet, who love a nice opulent fragrance. And yeah, I think this fits well with the collection. So I like that there is this cohesiveness between the collection. These are collector's items for me, considering the price, the bottle, the way that they look. I feel like you buy one of these bottles and you want to just keep it forever. And yeah, I will probably be aiming for an Outlands myself. I think that these smell awesome on clothing. They will last you forever until you wash that stuff. Even after the wash, it's still going to be there. But especially on skin, these with a high oil content, you really need to have things on the skin. So I hope that you enjoyed today's review of the latest Amouage Essences collection. Have you checked this out? What are your opinions on it? Do you have a favorite? And thank you for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video.